Hello everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome back to yet another Spin the Wheel Saturday, the series where I let the wheel decide what makeup look I'm going to recreate today. We've got 4 looks left and then Spin the Wheel Saturday will be finished. Sad times, but don't worry, we'll be introducing something new. More challenges, more makeup fun, but let's get straight into it. We've got latte makeup today. Very nice. I think this is going to be the easiest one for me because this is pretty much my everyday makeup. What the hell? Just for effect, why not? Little Shrekky. Let's begin. I'm going to start off by moisturizing my skin. So I'm going to use the Bioma Moisturizing Gel Cream. And I'm just going to... I used a bit too much, but it's okay. We'll just drag it down to the neck. Okay, now that I'm all moisturized, the next thing I'm going to do is brows. So the brows, I could do them like I usually do them. But the inspiration picture, she's got very fluffy... frick is this? She's got very fluffy, thick eyebrows. So I'm gonna try and make mine look a bit browier, a bit thicker. I'm going to go in with my Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel. And this is in the shade 02 Brownie Brows. What a name. And then the good old crusty, dusty, musty eyebrow powder, which we don't even know where it's from because it is rubbed out. Oh, Collection. It's in the shade Light/Medium 1. I'm gonna start with the gel and I'm going to, this is gonna be a bit messy, slick them up. Then I'm just gonna clean up the excess with a makeup wipe. Now I'm just gonna let them dry for a second. So, how's your day going? You been up to much? Yeah, neither. Now I'm gonna go into the powder and I'm going to darken up and just sort of try and create a bit more of a shape, filling in any gaps. So this eyebrow always gives me the heebie-jeebies. I feel like everybody just has that one brow that never cooperates. Okay, with a spoolie, I'm just gonna brush them out a little bit to blend that powder out. And again with a makeup wipe, sharpening it out a little bit. Okay, so now that the eyebrows are done, I'm gonna move on to primer. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And to be honest, I still haven't figured out the best way to apply this because it is so sticky. I don't know if it's best to put it on my face first, in the fingers, I don't know. I'm gonna try my face. Yeah, I think this is definitely a much easier way of applying it. Now, I'm gonna do a bit of underpainting before foundation. So for that, I'm gonna use my e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer. It is a bronzer, but it's in a very cool tone shade. It's in the shade Vacay Mood. I'm gonna use this as contour. And my Skin Silk concealer. So I'm gonna start with the putty bronzer. And on a brush, swirl it in there. Contour a little bit under my cheek, under my jaw. Tiny bit on my forehead and then on my nose as well. And then with a damp sponge, I'm just gonna blend that in. I'm not gonna blend it too much because we are gonna put foundation on top. With the concealer, I'm gonna put it just on where I've got some blemishes or any redness, any pigmentation. And I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Now just blend it in. Again, I'm not going to fully blend it, just very lightly tapping over where I've put it. The stuff I showed you in my last video, that's working wonders on this. I don't know if you remember, but it was like really bad. So many little red spots. I've been using it on my chest and on my back as well. Really, really helps. Now for foundation, I'm gonna use two. I'm gonna mix my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation and my Skin Silk In Your Tone foundation, because I really liked the way that looked last time I did this. So I did 2 pumps of the Fenty and 1 of the In Sleek. And I'm gonna dot it mainly on my cheeks. And I always do this anytime I use foundation. I start with my cheeks and my forehead and sort of work my way into the center of my face. I never start with the center of my face. I think it's really easy to go overboard then, and it starts to look geeky. And now just with the damp beauty blender, blend that in. If your arm ain't aching, you ain't blended enough. I probably should have done like half a pump of the Sleek and 1 pump of the Fenty because I've got so much left on my hand. Now I'm going to go in with my Bare With Me concealer serum in the shade Fair, just to brighten with. I'm going to do a little bit in the inner corner of my eye and a little bit on the outer corner. God, my hands are so cold today. And then just blend this in. Now I'm just going to set that in place using my number 17 Perfect Finish translucent powder. By the way, can someone please recommend their favourite setting powder? Because I've been looking for a new setting powder for ages and I just don't know what to go for. Okay, moving on to bronzer. I'm going to use my Revolution Pressed Powder Bronzer in the shade Chestnut and just an angle brush. And I like to do my nose a little bit as well.
Hi.
Whoa.
Okay, shush now. Now I'm going to go into the Made by Mitchell blush in the shade Milkshake and just apply that sort of above my cheekbones leading to my temples. And then what I like to do, once I've applied powder, bronzer and blush, just go in with a really big fluffy brush and feather the edges, just so it's not so harsh and it just looks a bit more melted into the skin. Like, just look at the difference between that side and that side. It just looks so much more airbrushed. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the eyes now. And I bought a new palette yesterday, cheap and cheerful. It's the W7 Moonglade eyeshadow palette. And from this palette, I'm gonna first start with the shade Glaze on a big fluffy brush. I'm gonna use this as a transition shade and just go in the crease of my eye. And then with a slightly smaller brush, I'm gonna go into Serenity, just darken out the inner corner a little bit. Oh wow, this is really orange. Just blend that out a little bit. I actually don't like that. I don't like that colour. I don't think it's what I had in mind. Different brush, I'm gonna go into Moss, which is like a really cool tone, almost like green. But I'm hoping when I put it on top of this, it will look like dark brown. Yeah? Yeah? Is that like... No, it looks like baby poo. Guys, what is going on? I can't tell my colours today. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that's dark. Give it a second. Blend it out with that first brush that I used in the transition shade. I love you too, what do you want?
She's so needy, everyone.
I said, what do you want? And I'm needy. You remember how I asked you to put the hose back in the bag like a week ago?
We don't talk about the hose anymore. You know about me and the hose.
Anyway, I'm gonna use a somewhat little angle fluffy brush and into the shade Dip, which is like a really light beige. You can see that. I'm gonna go into like my lid just to lighten up the lid a little bit. Really pack it in there. And then blend out the edge. I'm gonna use a little flat brush and into that beige shade again. And use this on my lower waterline I'm just gonna put a powder puff so I don't remove any of my under eye makeup. I'm doing this because I don't have a pencil, a waterline pencil in a white or a beige, so I don't recommend doing this if you have sensitive eyes because it does the eyeshadow will get in your eye. And then on that little brush again, I'm gonna go into Glaze, that first color that we used, and just merge my under eyes with the outer corner, and then sort of drag it in a little bit. And then a little bit of moss as well. And there we go, that's the eyes done. For lips, my one and only combo, the Collection Lip Definer in the shade Cappuccino 2 and my L'Oreal Paris lipstick Intense Volume Matte 500 Beige Freedom. I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips using the lip definer. And then with the L'Oreal, I'm just gonna tap this onto the center of my lips. And also, I'm gonna go in with a gloss on top. It's my Revolution Pout Oil in the shade Honey Shimmer. Just ever so slightly on my Cupid's bow. Okay, next I'm gonna go into my Pearl Glow highlighter and just a little bit on the tip of my nose, on my cheeks, brow bone. And to finish off, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray.
Is anything even coming out? Oh yeah.
I think that a lot with this. I don't really like the extra fine mister. Shockingly fine. And there we go, guys. This is the latte makeup finished. I feel like that was a really quick one, but I really like it. I think I'm gonna rate this one a 10 out of 10. I can't think of anything wrong with it. I really like it. It's simple, it's nude, it's nothing crazy. Best one out of the lot so far. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this week's Spin the Wheel Saturday. If you're enjoying this series so far, if you just like makeup in general, please do hit that subscribe button. I try to upload at least once a week, if not twice a week. But yeah, I'll see you next Saturday. See you later. Bye.